All right then. Yo, what's up, everyone? It's Awesome Game Replays, episode number 21, and this time we're checking out Puzzle Bobble. This is Taito's 1994 arcade original game, puzzle game, which you shoot the bubbles, match the colors, and features the characters Bob and Bob from Puzzle Bobble. And we're gonna be taking a look at one critic clear / scoring run from a player essekappa, and on this episode, co-hosted by Maximo. Hey Maximo.
Yo, what's up?
And the guest of this episode is Totoroslayer. Welcome, Totoroslayer, to Awesome Replays.
Hi guys.
So yeah, you're welcome. Puzzle Bobble kind of infiltrated arcade culture, like, pretty heavily. So this is one that may resonate with more people, I think. When did you first play Puzzle Bobble, and what are some memories you have with the game, and how did you get into playing it more seriously? Let's start off with that.
I mean, I played Puzzle Bobble probably at the same time everybody else did, like when they were a kid, right? Like, you know. It's this colorful game. It's kind of brilliantly designed. I mean, how many one-button games do you really run across? Puzzle Bobble is actually a one-button game, and it's sort of amazing in that respect. In terms of when I actually started playing it seriously, so I used to own an arcade, and basically when I would open and there was just like nobody there and it was boring, I would just play Puzzle Bobble, because it's a game that is like really quick to start, and you don't feel bad if you just like have to leave it in the middle, right? Like start over again. So Puzzle Bobble just sort of became part of my daily routine, and I kept playing it, and I sort of like read up on it and discovered sort of like this weird complex underlying system to it, and kind of made it more enjoyable to play. And that's when you also start noticing how like each of the different levels is a different puzzle that sort of emphasizes a different part of the mechanic. So when you do that, you kind of gain more of an appreciation for Puzzle Bobble. You just kind of keep playing it. It's pretty addictive.
Like, in a way, the single player is teaching you like all the techniques of the game. Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Yeah, it teaches you all the little like ins and outs of the system. And like, yeah, each puzzle kind of highlights it, and some of them even like actively try and kill you with the mechanics.
I know, yeah, it's, I remember playing it some, and some of the levels just have that kind of like that eureka moment where it's like there's that one bubble that you get that just clears the whole field, or you were actually working towards some goal that you didn't know you were working towards, and all of a sudden the stage is clear. It's like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah,
like it kind of surprises you like that sometimes, which I always thought was neat.
Yeah, it's always cool when something like that happens.
For me, like, I'd seen it in like multiple arcades, and like it was in like a rec center I used to go to, and they had, in the Neo Geo cabs, it would often be a Puzzle Bobble in there, so see it all the time. Like, what about you, Maximo? Did you ever encounter some Puzzle Bobbles?
Surprisingly enough, this is like one of the few arcade machines I actually saw as a kid, because like when I'm growing up in the mid 2000s or whatever, there's like almost no arcades in the area, but somehow at Ice Rink, Puzzle Bobble was there, so I spent some time on it. I think once I got to level 20 on one credit, but never actually beat the game or whatever. I knew someone else that got really close though, like they got to maybe level 26.
Yeah.
Always an interesting game though, because it's very easy to get into. Once you look at it a little bit, you can get some good strategies for like at least some decent scoring in like early stages.
Yeah, this game is super accessible, which is nice. And actually, as a plus, because it was so common, if anybody is like a cart collector or arcade collector out there, they're relatively cheap to get.
That's also nice to know. And of course, there are tons of the ports, console ports. There's just almost too many consoles it's been ported to name. And of course, there's the knockoff. What was the big knockoff of it? Kind of in modern time, was it?
Oh, the PC Flash game?
Probably, yeah, one of those. I'm trying to remember. Snood, yeah, that was it. Yep. So a lot of people learned to like Puzzle Bobble through Snood because that was Puzzle Bobble, right? I mean, it was just straight up.
Yeah, it was.
Like it was almost shameless. I thought.
Yeah, but Puzzle Bobble is great in a lot of ways. And not only the ports, but there's also like sort of IP expansions off of it. So in the arcade for the Naomi, there was Azumanga Daioh Puzzle Bobble, which added a bunch of.
Really?
Oh yeah. Azumanga
That's
Puzzle
fun.
Bobble is really cool. Their versus mode, actually, the wall separating the two sides has a gap. You can actually shoot at your opponent's puzzle. That's from certain angles.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, you can really mess with them. And basically anything you pop, you get credit for. So if they're building some like really big drop for you and you're able to steal it through that gap, it's yours. You get
That's
it.
pretty funny. I can imagine some good versus moments.
It is awful. I despise that so much.
Screwing over the other guy and just what all of a sudden a bubble comes into your field. Wow, I really want to see that now. Maybe we can dig up a video of that real quick near the end or something, but that sounds pretty interesting. So we will be talking about a little bit about PvP, but the replay we are watching is a scoring single player run, so we will be focusing on that. And you know, there are a lot of stages in the game, aren't there? So
there are 30 stages in Puzzle Bobble 1, yeah.
So it ends up taking quite a while here, and I think part of the time it takes is just the setup that the player is doing in all the stages too. So we'll be able to see that.
Yeah, I'll get into that.
Okay.
Should we just hit play?
Yeah, let's try to go into it then, I suppose. The countdown is going to be on go, so 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay.
And we will get this going. 3, 2, 1, go.
Arcade Extreme presents essekappa, playing Puzzle Bobble. 45 million is a really, really high score, and I'll try and describe why. So he starts in starting round 1 right now. So the scoring in Puzzle Bobble is based on how many spheres you drop, essentially. Popping doesn't really give you that many points, it gives you a trivial amount, but dropping balls gives you a gigantic amount. And what's more so is that the scoring is exponential. So, you know, you get a little bit for dropping 1 ball, for dropping 2, you get double that, for dropping 3, you get 4 times that. It's an exponential scoring system. However, the score maxes out at a cap, 1.3 million, which is, you know, you see his score right now. He just dropped 1 big cluster. That roughly equates to 17 balls. So
Wow.
You're going to see him like build up clusters of 17, then try and drop that. So here's
That's the pro strats right there.
Those are the scoring strats, and you can imagine 17 balls is quite a lot. So it's actually really risky to do that. You kind of threaten yourself with death constantly by doing that. And you can see he's employing a scoring strat here. He's sort of forked his keystone, is what I like to call this. So that those 2 blues anchoring the entire thing at the top, yeah, he sort of forked that so he can actually build on 2 different sides. He's not restricted to building on one cluster.
That's really clever.
Building on 1 cluster, especially with limited colors, you run into limitations really fast, right? Like sometimes you get a sequence of colors that gives you no choice but to pop, right? Especially when you have only like 3 or 4 colors. Yep, over here he's gonna get that 17 chain again. And you see he's forking the keystones again. That way he can build on both sides. Because right now he only has 4 colors to work with. Well, 3 actually. So that's another thing about Puzzle Bobble. You can only get a color, a bubble color that is already on the board. So because of this, he will never get any whites, he will never get any reds, no greens. Puzzle Bobble will only generate colors for you that are on the board. By the way, your next hue counts as being on the board already. So that can kind of mess people up sometimes. So for this puzzle, you can see sort of like there are two, the blue and red on either side are basically like lich pins. So he's going to pop one of them and leave the other lich pin to kind of take down the cluster later, like right now. See? And so you see another sort of like two lich pins on this next row. The blues are gone, so now the red is going to be sort of the lich pin that drops the whole cluster.
So lich pin, is that official Puzzle Bobble terminology, or is that?
Unfortunately, there are no real like Puzzle Bobble terminologies. That's why I'm like referring to them as like keystones or lich pins. But yeah, basically the bubble everything is hanging off of. That the whole cluster.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's connecting it. Gotcha. And what do you mean by keystone?
A keystone.
Exactly.
So like I would call like the black and blue in this puzzle the keystone. So interesting.
Okay.
He decides to just destroy one cluster already. He's like, I'm not going to be able to really chain anything off of this because it makes the field too narrow. So I'm just going to get rid of it. That means he's going to try for a 17 cluster on the left side right now. So yeah, these are basically the pivotal balls that will basically, once you pop them, will cause an entire cluster to fall.
Gotcha.
So if people haven't noticed it by now, so the sides of the level in Puzzle Bobble are reflective. They're basically not sticky. So basically balls won't stick to them when you fire against it. And more to the point, when a cluster drops, nothing will be caught by the walls. However, the ceiling is sticky. So you see earlier he fired that blue up to the top right. See, he's forking again. He's going to try and build another 17 chain. But this is getting really risky because the level is sort of squeezing down on him, which is another mechanic I'll explain. But yeah. So another interesting thing, you'll see now that every like roughly 6 or so he's firing. Actually, wait, 1, 2, 3. So he has 3 distinct colors. Yeah, roughly every like 6 shots he's taking is causing the level to squeeze down on him. That's that squeeze down, that crunch down is actually in proportion to the number of shots you've taken, in proportion to the number of distinct colors on the board. And that sounds really complicated, so let me explain. So basically you get, if n is the number of distinct colors on the board, you get 2n shots, I believe is the equation. Yeah, I think it's like 2n shots before the puzzle squeezes down on you one row. So you will see this really in effect in an upcoming puzzle, but basically the fewer colors you have left on a board, the faster it's going to crunch down on you.
I see. Well, that kind of makes sense then.
Yeah, because in theory the puzzle is quote unquote simpler, right? When you have fewer colors. So they're sort of speeding up your death. Like there's another 17.
Because yeah, they know then you're kind of wrapping it up at that point, or should be anyway.
Yeah, the game has funny ways of playing with that, though. I'll highlight that I'll make sure to mention that in an upcoming puzzle when it does. All right, so it looks like he is going to try and build on that green. Yeah, here we go. He forked that again. So this might seem like a really narrow gap that he's leaving for himself to drop everything, but as a matter of fact, it's not. Because the nice thing about Puzzle Bobble is there's kind of a cool little input thing. They're very nice. At 1.3 million, is that if you hold straight up, it puts your pointer dead center. You can fire through the absolute narrowest gap as long as it's straight up, just by holding straight up.
That's a nice tip.
Yeah, it's pretty useful. Yeah, I think he tried to fork that last little bit on the left side and decided that there was no way he could get 17 off of that. They just decided to get what he could and call it a day. All right, so this is the triple X, as I call it. The beginning pattern is just like 3 X's overlapping. This is kind of hard to score on because you sort of need to like carve away the left side or the middle, depending on how aggressive you're getting. Looked like he's not gonna mess with the super long chains. I think he might try and build one on the left side after sort of clearing everything away. But yeah, trying to build a chain around the initial layout is really hard on this one because it's really random. So yeah, again, he's sort of forking that blue, sort of that blue lich pin at the top. Yeah, building in two directions is really much more handy. Kind of avoid unnecessary pops. One thing to note, though, I don't know if you noticed this, he has not gotten a red bubble in like the past 10 to 12 shots.
So that's the RNG, right?
That's a little bit of the RNG. That is also... So Puzzle Bobble has a conception of availability, of like shootability. Not only will it not give you colors that are not present on the puzzle, it will not give you colors that it does not deem accessible. A color that is accessible, quote unquote, is something that has at least one open side. So bubble, so a given bubble can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slots, or like sort of 6 spaces that are open to it. Kind of in like a hexagon pattern, so to speak, all around it. As long as one of those are open, it can theoretically generate that color piece in the RNG.
Okay.
The last level 30, will really mess with people because of that, and I'll highlight that later why. Okay, so looks like he is... Okay, so the red, I think, is his lich pin here that he's going to try for. Yep, there you go. 1,
Nice.
4, 3.
That's pretty satisfying.
It's super satisfying, but again, super risky. You'll notice he was like 3 lines away from death when he popped that. This is super aggressive. Oh, looks like we're to the next one.
We'll pop the part 2 here.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. Yeah, and you see he's looks like he's gonna finish up here. Is he gonna go for another one? It's gonna be really risky if he goes for another one, but I don't put it past him.
He might.
So yeah, just off the top, you can sort of start to guesstimate, right? There are 30 boards. He gets he gets 45 million on 30 boards. That means he's averaging more than one of those max value drops per board. So that means he's playing super aggressive.
So this one is they're just all bunched up here.
Yeah.
So what does that mean as far as which bubbles you're gonna get then? If all the slots are covered by other ones?
So basically, yeah, you will get colors of the exposed row of anything that's sort of exposed.
Oh yeah, okay. Gotcha.
So yeah, still theoretically you can get any color. So these puzzles, there's 2 of them in the game. I basically call them like gumball boards because they're just sort of all jumbled up colors. It's really hard to get any coherent structure out of them that you can take advantage of for like a big cluster drop. And you can see he's just basically going for, puzzle clear. He just wants to clear this board. There's not a lot you can work with here. These kinds of puzzle boards are particularly dangerous. Okay, so you see right there, he was very careful about how he shot those blues. That is a strategy. That is a survival strategy.
Yeah.
That I like to call emphasizing pairs. So this puzzle, you can actually clear this puzzle with a single orange bubble. If you shoot it through the gap just right, you just
angle it.
Yeah, if you angle it just right, you can kind of thread the needle's eye and
so tempting.
Oranges. Yeah. So there's actually a heuristic. There's a way you can do it every single time. You see the sort of the checkered pattern on the background. within each one of those squares, there's like that tiny, tiny checkered pattern. Actually, if you align your pointer with one of the tiny checkered patterns just right, it's a guaranteed shot every time.
That's cool. So you can actually basically find the pixel, and then that's your shot, is what you're getting at there.
Exactly. That is the exact shot you need to thread the needle.
That's some good shit right there.
Yeah, no, it's a great feeling. So here's here's another puzzle similar to the level 3 puzzle, where you basically have like 2 lich pins on either side. You pop one, build the cluster, and then pop the other to bring the cluster down. You can see here he's like kind of taking some time to count. He's like, am I sure I have 17? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, all right, he's going for the red again. Gonna build this up. Kind of nice. This board gives you like 3 reasonable chances to get the 1.3 million. He's getting like 4 greens in a row here. That's great. Always great when the game trolls you.
Probably.
Yep, 1.3. Nice and easy. But now you can see, you know, the ceiling's a little bit lower. It's getting a little bit harder to do. He really needs a black now. He's probably sweating a little bit. Oh man, there's that black. He needs 2, not just 1. There we go. He's counting. He wants to like know how many more he needs. And there you go. That's perfect.
So if you're one short of the max number of balls, how many points is that?
That's about 65,000. You get half.
Oh wow, yeah, that's
or 650,000. Sorry.
No wonder he's counting and whatnot.
Yeah,
then.
yeah, it totally matters. So like 18 or 17 doesn't really matter, but 16 or 17, that difference totally matters.
Big puntos.
Yeah, exponential scoring is a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
It's the worst feeling in the world because sometimes like you forget to count the bubbles that you're actually popping to bring the cluster down. Those don't count towards your combo. It's just what you drop. So sometimes you pop a bubble that you needed for the drop and you're like, no, 650,000, no. Yeah, so this is sort of a modified gumball. It gives you these gaps around the side that if you're really like baller, you can try and shoot through to sort of bring the whole thing down, but he doesn't risk it. Kind of hard to get anything going on this one though. Colors are pretty randomized. So yes, I was describing before a survival strategy known as like prioritizing pairs. And this is kind of a cool sort of like thought experiment you can do at home. The idea is like, how do you guarantee, so say you have like, you're trying to eliminate a color and it's just giving you nothing but that color over and over again. How do you eliminate it? Because if it keeps giving you the color, that means the next ball will also be that color too. So even if you pop everything on the board of that color, oh wow, he gets it. Gets a 17 there, forking that last pair. Very aggressive, very cool. All right, so remember how I said the game can kind of use limited color crunch down to kill you? This is one of those puzzles. You'll notice there's only 3 distinct colors, and already he's gotten a crunch down after like 6 shots. So stuff like this, where it was like, yeah, you know, when you have only a few colors, you should be wrapping the puzzle up, unless they decide to do this to you. Unless they decide to give you a giant puzzle of just like a few colors.
So it's like a harder stage.
Yeah,
because of that.
Yeah, the ceiling comes at you quick, and people who don't know about how crunch down works might be surprised at first because the ceiling just.
I guess the common misconception would be that it's time, but that's just not the case at all here.
It's number of shots relative to distinct colors you have left.
Well, it still is crunching down because of time, though. Is that correct? At the same time?
It crunches down because of time only insofar as time forces you to shoot.
Oh,
Yeah,
so the timer is for a forced shot.
Yeah,
Yep.
because when it hits 0, then you're like forced to release your ball.
Okay.
But yeah, the crunch down, strictly speaking, is due to number of shots taken.
Gotcha.
See, he messed up. He was one short of the 17. So this one, you'll see sort of the blue V pattern. That's your big one. That's how you're going to get your 1.3 million on this stage. You pop that blue and basically the entire outside shell comes down. Kind of like that.
Nice.
And then if you're aggressive, oh no, he still eliminates those yellows. I think he can theoretically do this if he wants to. Building a 17 cluster with only 3 colors is difficult. You start running into situations where you like have to pop stuff, kind of like this. But he has sort of like a garbage dump on the left side that he's using, so he can avoid like having to pop stuff. Oh god, yep, uses that garbage dump again. He links it though. I don't know what he's thinking of. That might have been a missed shot, I don't know. Yep, he's gonna eliminate that green. So now he doesn't have a garbage dump, but he's well on his way to that 17. Probably gonna get it here. Oh my goodness. Oh, but see, yeah, there we go. I was gonna say that shot that he had to take forced him to eliminate 2 balls in his cluster alongside, just because how it was structured.
Wow.
But yeah, he was one crunch down away from death. Like, that's how aggressively he's trying to play this. Whoop, crunch down there. This structure is kind of difficult to do. Because so the first 17 is going to be nice and easy. Sort of, you have that nice little green cluster there. Oh, just in time, almost died. But to get this next 17 cluster, yeah, you need to break one of the linchpin anchor points on either the right or the left side. You just do the left side. Yeah, he's forced to pop.
Which is going to be that yellow one, I think.
Mm-hmm.
All right, video 3, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, I'm guessing either the red or the yellow on the upper left side. He's gonna go for. Yeah, he's dancing with death here. There we go. Wow, just in time. I think he's gonna go for it again. He's eyeing it. I think he's totally eyeing it right now. And this is actually not impossible because you see he already sort of has a naturally forked yellow keystone kind of at the top there. Sort of forked for him already. Yeah, I think he's just going for cleanup. I think he deemed it a little too risky. It's probably the right call. Here we go, prioritizing pairs, right? So you keep getting blacks, but if you prioritize making pairs first, so you try and make 2 pairs and then pop with a 4th, if you keep using that algorithm, you can guarantee elimination of the color.
Okay, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, so you build 2 pairs. If you get another black and that's your last black, you link the 2 pairs to pop
Just
4.
Link them then.
Yeah, but if you get another black and another black in the next, then you can pop 2 3s if you have made 2 pairs already. And then using that algorithm, you just start over again.
How many angles does the pointer actually have?
You know, I've never actually sat through and counted them all out.
Because in theory, you could memorize all the shots, couldn't you? If you're really fucking good.
Yeah, you could if you really wanted to do it. They're definitely finite. The angles are not continuous. They're definitely discrete. You learn after playing, not too much. You learn to get a feel for what sort of shots are possible and which ones aren't. Okay, so he has sort of forked reds at the top there, but he needs to eliminate that white. There we go. So now he has a properly forked reds at at the top. If he had tried to pop that red before he cleared out those whites, the whites would have kept the left cluster still stuck to the top. He wouldn't have gotten this combo. Now you see him building really close to death. Oh my god. Very narrow shot. He gets it. Okay.
Nice. Was that a 13 as well?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. That was a 17. Yeah.
17.
1.3 million. Yeah, 17 bubbles, 1.3 million. Here's another gumball puzzle. I don't know if he's gonna like try and do anything with it. I think theoretically what you're supposed to be able to do is the colors are actually in a pattern to be hit from the side. So like, you know, if you wanted to, what you would do is actually carve out the left or the right side all the way down and then bank shots onto the puzzle to kind of pop the rest of it, but kind of not worth the effort. Yeah, looks like he's just clearing this.
Yeah, the other strat you mentioned sounds a bit too risky for this type of stage, because even for survival, these are not fun.
Yeah, it definitely gets pretty hairy. Alright, he's doing pretty well here. Yellows, prioritizing curves again. Oh, he misses that shot on the purple. Could have eliminated that. He wanted it though. Reds. Oh, good. Man, perfect colors. Look at that. Perfect RNG. Couldn't ask for better. This puzzle is, again, this is the sort of thing where if you try and solve it from like just shooting up at it from the bottom, it's kind of slow going. But if you're really baller, popping it from the sides is more efficient. Like you need fewer bubbles to do it. Again, though, it's going to be hard to get a cluster drop set up here. Looks like he's going to go for it. But yeah, you'll notice he got reds generated over there, even though he couldn't technically use the reds for anything. That's because those reds near the top of the puzzle were technically available. Like, according to the computer, he could still access reds.
Which is a problem, because then you got to put that red somewhere else, right? So
precisely. The last puzzle is a perfect example of why this system kills you. Of why this. Well, the last puzzle is really devious because it shows that it shows that it wasn't a bug. Essentially, it shows that they know exactly how their availability algorithm works, like how it's defective and how it can kill you.
Wow. Can't wait to see that one.
Yeah, the level 30 is a particular kind of trolling. Alright, so looks like he's going to try and build everything off of this big white chain, but he's closing it off for some reason. So now he can't pop that string of whites. Oh, he's going to use the oranges right at the center. If he doesn't die. Death is coming pretty fast. Yeah, one more. Just in time. Wow, look at this guy.
What a save.
Yeah, we got some people getting hype about this run in the chat. Nasty Wolverine keeps on saying, "What a save!"
I mean, that particular one, he was pretty safe. He wasn't going to die because you saw he actually had like 2 oranges left, and a pretty easy shot. But it was all about, you know, whether it was going to be the 1.3 or like the disappointing 650. Wow. Okay. Again, last shot before he dies. Going ham. He's holding nothing back. Like high score, nothing. All right. So here's a double hourglass. But again, only 3 colors. So you have to be really efficient on this one. Like, generally speaking, missing 2 or 3 shots will doom you in this.
Oh, okay.
Because look at how
That's how
fast
rough
it's
these
punching.
are. Yeah.
These limited color
Nice shot.
puzzles are really mean. They come down at you so fast. Ah, nice pub. Good cluster drop. Gets another one. Yeah, no, he's perfectly safe now. Is he gonna try for it? Is he gonna do it? And they're like, no, you can't do it with 3 colors.
It's interesting how the survival really plays into the scoring elements too. It's like on these stages, it sounds like it's really just playing survival for the most part. Would you say that's an accurate assumption?
Relatively so. I think he's trying to get like, yeah, and you'll see like, even though that looked like a pretty good cluster he dropped, it was only 640 points. Kind of nothing. Yeah, I think
like he still did some stuff there, right? But
yeah, he basically was trying to scrape together whatever he could, right? Scrape together whatever drops you can, get whatever few points you can. Because yeah, just popping gives you actually nothing. It gives you like 30 points.
that is interesting how the points are so exponential that every little bit can really add up.
Yep. Go for 17s.
Seems like very scoring intensive at that point.
Yep. Go for 17s or go home. All right, so if he eliminates those blacks, that means, he's going to keep the black because he wants to keep some colors on the board. It makes it easier to build clusters. Unfortunately, that white is a little bit stranded. Okay, so is he going to build off the green, I guess? Yeah, he just takes out that cluster on the left, doesn't want to deal with it dropping on him. Yeah, I guess he's going to use the green to drop the whole thing eventually. Plenty of space to work with. It's nice. Yeah, now he's just like milling for a green. Wasting time.
Jeez, it took a
And
long
he's
time.
not getting it. There we go.
Well, there's only like the two greens there.
Yep.
So the chances were low.
So, yeah. Oh, there we go.
Part 4.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
So, I don't have solid data on this, but I am under the impression that the frequency with which you draw a color is not related to the frequency with which it is on the board, if that makes any sense. So if you have only like one red sphere on the board, it doesn't mean your chances of drawing a red are less.
Oh.
That is again, I don't have any solid data on this, but this is just sort of like my anecdotal impression.
But if the red was completely exposed, that would mean there's better chance of the red coming then, though.
Well, not so. How should I say? If you have a chance of drawing a color at all, I believe it is equal chance among all the drawable colors. I'll put it that way. So if you can draw a color at all, i.e., it's on the board and it is exposed, then the chance of drawing that color is equal to the chance of drawing any other color, no matter.
I thought you were saying something earlier about the number of sides that the bubble is exposed affects the chances.
Oh no. What I was saying is that there are 6 exposure points, and as long as one of them is open, the ball of that color is technically exposed.
Oh, I see. As long as one of it's open. Okay.
Yeah, as long as one of the 6 is open, it is technically exposed.
So can you even draw an orange when that's enclosed in there then?
When that orange was enclosed, he could not draw it. But now that now that the bottom right side is open, yeah, he can. He can draw orange.
You gotta crack it open before you can get another one.
Exactly.
That's the motto there.
Yeah.
That can be a hang-up for people who don't know the system too. Like they could have a trapped one and they wouldn't know why they're not getting that one.
Yeah, they're like, why am I not getting the blue or whatever? Yeah.
But now we know. Now the world knows.
Exposed.
Exposed.
Totally exposed. All right, so so he could theoretically go for the red Lichpin there. No, he's going to go for the purple. If you want to be really aggressive, you would go for that red first, and then use the purple later on to try and get 2 big chains. But again, that's like hyper aggressive. All right, guess he's going to use that green. Oh, forced to pop. Oh, misses that one a tiny bit, but that's okay. Now this is going to unfortunately be a little sad because once he pops this cluster and brings it down, he's only going to be left with 3 colors, and he's going to have to try and build another 17 cluster using only the oh, but he keeps a blue. I don't know if that was planned or not, but if it was planned, that's godlike. So now he has more than enough colors to build another 17 block relatively easily, and then a super easy shot at that red line at the top just to bring the full house down.
Nice.
Bam.
So satisfying.
So satisfying. So this is kind of fun. You'll see like sort of the pairs go up the V, so you can kind of pop that V at any point that you want. Looks like he is okay. Yeah, so he is going to try for 2 clusters, 1 on either side, and then you can aim straight up with either a blue to bring down the left cluster or a white to bring down the right cluster. Straight up, 100% guaranteed shot.
These puzzles are really cool because they just have that simplistic beauty to them almost.
Yeah.
It seems. Seems like you don't have to think too much about it. Like for me, like a novice player, like how do you start identifying like the forks and the keystones like right away? Like it's still hard for me to actually see that. Like does that just come with experience then?
Definitely in the 1-player mode, it comes with experience. There's like certain break points, right? Like there's certain points in the puzzle that are very amenable to becoming keystones or becoming lichpins. And you sort of like gain familiarity with the puzzles.
Try your best to work towards it, I guess.
And yeah, right? Like, yeah. Yeah, in 1-player mode, it's a little easier. Like as you play the puzzles more and more, you gain experience with them and you kind of know the points where they break off. And so you can kind of emphasize those. In player versus player, it's a much more organic thing. You sort of have to recognize them on the fly. Oh wow, he's gonna go for it. With even only 2 colors, he's gonna go for it. Yeah, 81,000. You just can't build up a big chain with 2 colors. There's just a hard limit you get to. Yeah, so this is one of those banking shot puzzles. You can sort of see that you bank stuff off the right side to make groups of 3 and pop them. Really easy to miss those bank shots though, so kind of risky.
Yeah.
Is he gonna go for one? He's gonna go for it. I think he's gonna go for it. Oh, misses that bank shot. Oh, is he just gonna clear it? Okay. I thought he had something going there. Oh, misses the blue. Sadness.
You wanted that like top middle blue to be next to the top left one?
I think so.
If we were probably like slightly more to the left when like he initially shot off, probably could have gone in there.
Yes, I think he's going to just try and get whatever little bit he can out of this. Yeah, there's no way you can make 17 off of that. Ceiling is way too low.
Neat.
Easy squeezy.
Round 25.
Round 25. And this is where, so like the next 3 boards are on this awful background.
Yeah, this is a
So,
big difference.
Um,
And you don't have the checkerboard anymore. Yeah.
So you don't have the checkerboard, which your mind actually unconsciously uses for targeting. It's really weird, but like shots you would normally make, you start missing on this background. Your mind totally unconsciously locks onto it.
And it moves.
Oh.
And it moves faster. The more the ceiling crunches down, the faster the background scrolls.
The trolls.
It gets so hard to look at.
Just trying to disorient you and being like, got this far. Now see what we can do with your eyes.
In the translucent border.
Oh, hey, fishy.
Oh yeah, you'll see the Darius fish in the background.
Oh wow, yeah, that's funny. That's great. That's great. Yeah, that's awesome. It's really cheeky.
Nice. Go for the straight attack. What? Oh, what? Is he gonna try for it?
I think he fucked it up.
Oh.
It's regular clear.
But yeah, that background's really going now. You can imagine, like, at that point, if you still have stuff on your board, it's almost killing you. The background is going at, like, 70 miles an hour. It's, like, awful to play. Here's another gumball. Random assortment of colors. Have fun with this.
Oh,
Does
boy.
anything get more difficult, like outside of what's actually on the boards as you go further along in the levels? Like, is there any like survival rank or anything crazy like that?
I don't think there's. Is there survival rank? I don't think there is.
No, not as such.
It's just all about the boards.
Yep.
It's just
So
like.
just
You just
you
have one
versus the
shot.
puzzle every time. Yep. I kind of appreciate that about this game, right? Like every puzzle is a distinct. Oh, so he eliminated those purples. Now he can't get a purple until he liberates the purple. Well, now the purple is sealed up again. So yeah, there we go. Is he gonna make that? Oh, godlike! Look at this guy. But yeah, he got that blue because blue was technically exposed, even though he can't actually shoot at it. Eliminates the purples. Now he'll never get another purple.
All right, last vid. 3,
Last one.
2, 1, go.
Yep, now he's just cleaning this up. Easy peasy. Yeah, perfect colors. Very nice. All right, he has one more. Notice the pattern. This is an invader.
Oh.
Nice.
Or no, I think this was from from
Something.
yeah, I don't think it's an invader. I think the invader is one of the later puzzles. But yeah, this is I think like one of their pixel video game characters. Very nice. Gets that 17 ball there. That one is semi-luck based. You may be able to get it, you may not. All right. Oh, godlike. So now those reds are the only thing holding this entire puzzle up. He's gonna build. Hopefully not die for it. All right. Do you have
Nice.
enough room for this? Gets it. Yeah. All right. So finally, like the background from hell is gone. Back to the normal background. This one's kind of difficult because of that triangle shape. You're sort of forced to bank balls onto the side. And if you miss any shots, you have this like kind of this awful semi-randomized cluster you have to clear. You gonna go for one here? Well, I guess he has to. If he gets 45 million, he has to go for something here. trying to clean up the sides a little bit. No, this puzzle's really not cooperating with him though. Oh, this is the white. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it doesn't look like you can really get much started here.
Maybe it's
Nothing.
That's it.
Yeah, entirely possible. I mean, he was very obviously trying, especially earlier in the stage. He was trying to get something going, but the RNG did not cooperate with him. Can he make that? No. Oh, this is a little bit trouble. Oh, gets it. Nice. Pops 4, all reds, easy. No, he was able to get like 2 million off of that. There we go. Ah, this is the invader, I think.
Is the time bonus significant?
I don't think
No.
it's that big. No.
Yeah. Compared to drop bonuses, I believe time bonus maxes out at 50,000.
If you do like 5 seconds or something.
Actually, the max time bonus is, I believe, at 3 seconds.
Hmm.
From there, it starts degrading.
Rip.
For 50,000 points?
Yeah, for
Or
a
how?
mere 50,000 points. Solve the
Ah.
puzzle in 3 seconds. Pretty measly, considering what you can get for a 17 drop.
Yeah, seriously.
Yep, it's gonna
This looks kind of
hopefully
scary.
really get that green. Then it's a straight up shot, 100% guaranteed. Very nice. Yeah, there you go. He gets it. As long as he survives the next round, it'll probably easily take him into 45 million. Oh, he's gonna try for it again. Fork to those reds at the top. Does he have 17? Yeah. He'll get it. Not easily, though.
Oh man.
There we
Clutch.
go.
Bam.
Last round.
So, take a moment to notice. All these colors are exposed, right?
Yeah.
Like the blues, for instance. Look at how much crap he's going to have to dig through before he can actually make a blue worth it. And he's already getting
man.
blues, right? And the blues are captured in like the top 3 rows. Everything up until there is just junk.
Oh man.
The structure of this puzzle shows you that the developers understood how their availability algorithm worked, how it was slightly defective, and how it could totally kill you.
Jeez.
Like, that's why this puzzle is the way it is. That's what makes it hard. It's that all these colors are exposed, but only a few are practically, actually shootable.
It really makes you pick your shots, I guess.
You have to be really skilled at like garbage disposal, essentially, right? With really limited space. Being able
Garbage
to,
dump, garbage disposal.
right.
Love it.
like you have to, with like, you know, next to no space at all, you have to be able to basically ditch colors that are worthless. And find ways of mitigating that.
Yeah, that seems pretty tough to even just throwing them in the right spot for garbage.
Oh, greens. And like,
Oh my god.
yeah, every bubble that you get that is not actively like working to pop something, you're just like, is awful because you have no space, you have no time. That ceiling is coming down on you.
Yeah.
So like those two purples that he just shotgunned right there, those are probably really bad, right? Because those didn't really help him chip away at the puzzle.
You did it.
You did it. 1 CC. Very nice.
Congratulations, you have cleared all rounds. Oh man, an ending. Wow.
You get a remixed version of the original Puzzle Bobble theme song.
Nice.
Music in the back here.
Let me get her.
That's awesome.
Psychedelic constellation background.
Yeah, the scrolling background with the Darius
The
fish.
Silver Hawk.
What a great ending.
Yeah, that last puzzle is particularly great. Really good trolling on the part of the devs. But yeah, really difficult game to 1cc. You need both accuracy and a pretty deep understanding of how the game wants to kill you, of the different ways it has of killing you, and like mitigating that. Yeah. So versus mode is a little bit different. I don't know if you guys want to talk about that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Sure. So versus mode starts both players out on basically a gumball pattern field. So you don't really have, you kind of have just a randomized backdrop, not much to work with. The nice thing is, though, both players get the exact same draw sequence. They get the exact same colors. I don't know if by manipulating availability you can get that to diverge. I don't think you can. Generally, it doesn't come up because people are just like popping stuff and like trying to kill each other, and so you don't really go for strategic builds. But I guess that's something I should try and investigate. The thing about versus mode is that when you drop bubbles, basically they go onto your opponent's side. You can't really mount an offense by popping. Again, you mount an offense by dropping. Dropping clusters causes big damage on their side. The risk-reward balance comes in when you drop a bunch on their side. If they're already building a big drop cluster, you've just added balls to their drop cluster back at you. And given how the exponentiation works, even adding like 2 or 3 to their cluster can really mess you up.
But what if it blocks their shot?
Yeah, so like if it ends up blocking like their keystone or linchpin or something like that, well then you basically won the round, right? Because they're dead now.
Yeah.
There's this giant cluster of 17 that they can't do anything with.
So maybe you could be like watching their field and waiting for the right moment to strike, type of thing.
You could. The unfortunate thing is, like, to this day, I don't 100% understand how it chooses placement for your ball drops. It's not even. It's not. How should I say? It's not like just like flat layers that they just bubble up at you. There's definitely like a sort of a pattern that gets dropped on you. I don't 100% understand how that one works. Every now and again you can get exactly what you need, and every now and again it can screw you over and kill you. So
I see. That's pretty interesting.
yeah.
Cool stuff.
So yeah.
Would you have any would you have any tips for new players as far as like what to look for to getting better or anything like that? Do you have any general rule of thumbs or anything like that to help people like try to get to understanding it? Because it can be daunting, I think. Some people who don't have the puzzle knack, so to speak.
Yeah, who don't have the experience.
Yeah.
I would say definitely go for survival first. Like, work on survival first. The most important thing in this game is accuracy. Like, learn how the pointer moves, learn how the bubbles like bounce and like where they attach to.
Okay.
Of course, like in the later levels, you're going to need strategy to like, kind of work around the puzzles and like know how to solve them. But all the strategy in the world doesn't mean anything if you miss your shots. So like, work on accuracy. Accuracy is really, really important. From there, it's just experience with the puzzles. A couple of things to like look out for. Like, get really suspicious and worried when you see like limited colors in a puzzle. because that means that ceiling is coming down on you fast. So when you see that, like kind of look at the puzzle and examine ways to, like, how should I say, minimize the number of shots and maximize the area cleared. Like, look for ways to, like, really kind of, like, quickly get through that puzzle, because that puzzle's not going to wait for you. It's going to come right down on your head. But yeah, those are kind of the most important things. It's just like learning to recognize, like, what the puzzle is trying to have you solve, and being accurate about it. Don't worry so much about speed. Speed is completely incidental to this game. Doesn't matter.
Cool. Isn't it if you use to continue, like they give you the guide arrow? Is that something am I remembering that right?
Yes, that's correct. They'll give you sort of the laser sight, so to speak, whenever you continue.
It's for like one stage only, I believe, though.
Correct. You only get it for the next stage. The little guideline though is kind of handy when you're learning too, because it shows you what shots are possible and which ones aren't.
Oh yeah, I can see that for sure.
It helps you learn and kind of internalize a conception of sort of like what's possible.
So don't be afraid to credit feed if you're playing then.
Credit feed a little bit, go into MAME and turn on the cheat. Yeah, sort of like play around with it, use it as a tool to learn.
Cool. This is really interesting, hearing about all those stages and stuff. So it sounds like you do some scoring runs too yourself.
I do not.
You don't.
I mean, how should I say? I don't do it seriously. I do it. I can do it in the beginning levels to, like, try and get a few 17 millions. But past like stage 20, it gets a little too frantic for me. I'm not there yet.
Wow. How long have you been playing Puzzle Bobble?
Probably 4 or 5 years, something like that. It's one of the sorts of things where I just like do it in my free time, right?
Cool.
Like whenever you're waiting for a train or something, you just fire up Puzzle Bobble. Easy enough.
And then, yeah, like you were saying earlier, it's easy to just ditch a game. It's like not a big deal, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it ends so quickly and it starts up so quickly, so it's no big deal to just start over.
Cool stuff. All right, well, I think that's gonna wrap up the episode. Really cool stuff. Do you have any? Is there like a Puzzle Bobble community or anything like that we should know about, or like a portal for information or anything like that?
Not that I know of, but then again, I haven't really searched.
Okay.
So, yeah, unfortunately, I'm not the guy for that. But hey, I love the game. What can I say?
I see. I mean, there probably are like 1 or 2 communities out there, just people that are knowledgeable within the arcade game community that probably know a few things.
Yeah. What I will say, anecdotally speaking, is that, like, there's not really a competitive scene for this. For one reason or another, this is not seen as like a competitively viable game. I rather enjoy the versus mode, but this isn't like Puyo or Tetris, where there's like a very established like PvP community, competitive community.
Geekman in the chat says there is tournaments if you look, apparently.
Huh. Wonder where we can find those.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be seeing this at Evo anytime soon, but I'm sure there are folks who play it.
Awesome. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up then for episode 21 on Puzzle Bobble. I'm sure it should be a nice, real resource for people to get an idea of what to look for in the stages and kind of some of those terminologies. I think you did a really good job talking about it, so thanks a lot, Totoro, for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Talking about it.
Yeah.
All right, well, till next time, everyone. See ya.
Bye.
See you later, guys.